Girl, when I tell y'all that it's a dog-eat-dog world in Hollywood, I promise that nothing could have prepared you for the insanity that is going on between Diddy and Yung Miami. Now, y'all know that Diddy has been in a hot mess since November, but we all thought that Yung Miami would be the one to switch up on Diddy and snitch on him. But Diddy says psych, and he snitched on Yung Miami, sending her into a hot panic because she knows that it's game over. According to CNN, there are plans in motion for a grand jury to possibly indict Diddy based on all the accusations and lawsuits he's been hit with in the past couple of months. We're talking about 8 different people coming forward accusing Diddy of some serious SA stuff, with incidents allegedly going back as far as the early 90s. And trust, if he is found guilty, he is going to be locked up for a very, very long time. And allegedly, Diddy is working out a deal to name his accomplices in order to get a shorter sentence and save his behind. So y'all see why Yung Miami is in a panic mode. Now, y'all know how the internet has been talking about how Miami could have been a victim. Well, Diddy is calling BS on this, claiming that she was a willing participant in everything. Girl, Diddy knows that he's going down and he is determined to drag Miami down with him. With everything that came out, Diddy wasn't the only one who got the backlash. Miami also got dragged. Fans were questioning why on earth she stuck by Diddy, knowing the type of person he was. According to all these lawsuits, everybody in Diddy's inner circle knew the type of person he was, so there's no place Miami didn't know. That's not all, because fans went all Sherlock Holmes and dug up an old tweet from Yung Miami. Y'all remember how she used to go back and forth with Diddy's other side piece, Gina? For some reason, Miami was determined to prove that she was superior to Gina and that Diddy liked her better. And this led to some messy showdown between them on social media a couple of times. And during one of those times, Miami made some pretty nasty comments about Gina. It almost sounded like she was threatening Gina, suggesting she'd make Diddy force Gina into some wild, freaky situation. This happened before Diddy got exposed, so we didn't have the full backstory. She said, "If I wanted you to eat my pee, Diddy would have had you on your knees. You a eater. Gina, you've been down bad ever since I came into the picture. You've been crying for a baby for 10 years. You've been around as a B that eat P and D when he feel like it. You a eater. You the same B that was crying on Tasha K cause you wanted a baby, poor sushi." Looking back now, her words kind of came off like she was threatening to force Gina into a freak off. And now that we know what we know about Diddy, her words got dragged for filth and she started crashing alongside Diddy. What made things worse is that Gina once sat down with Tasha K to talk about how Diddy allegedly hurt her and put his hands on her when they were together.
I mean, in the beginning, like the first 3.5 years, the first 3-4 months, he was really nice, but then after that, he started being
So when you say mean, describe it.
He was he was like always belittling me and always like, he was like mentally, emotionally, and physically. He took one of my heels and tried to throw it at me, and then he like mushed my face and like really hard and made my nose bleed.
She also claimed that when she got pregnant, he forced her to get rid of it.
And you mind telling me what happened with that pregnancy?
I told him, and he was like, "You're gonna get aborted," and then I was like, "I don't know. I don't know yet." And then he offered me $50,000 to get rid of it, but I turned it down because I just loved him, and I was like trying to prove that I wasn't the girl that
Was
wanted him for money.
Okay.
I just care about him, and I just wanted him to be nice to me. That's it. I was like, "I don't want your money. I just want you to be nice to me."
Now, this whole scene was a bad look for Yung Miami, but nothing solid was proven yet. Fans speculated she was deep in Diddy's drama, but there was zero evidence she was out there forcing other women into anything. If she was down with Diddy's antics, that was her business as a grown woman making her own choices. Still, the streets are talking. People started to think she knew more about Diddy's dirty deeds than she let on, especially when she started backing away from him. This was all before those other 4 lawsuits against Diddy hit the fans, making everybody wondered if she had some inside scoop we didn't know about. Then Diddy got slapped with 3 more lawsuits from women accusing him of some serious stuff. The whole situation turned real ugly real fast, and Diddy's image basically went up in flames. That's when Yung Miami made it clear she was done with Diddy's mess. She was all about moving on and showing the world she was no longer in the mix with him. She tried to revamp her image, launching her Yams era. She also deleted all pictures of Diddy from her social media and acted like he never even existed. But as it turned out, she didn't abandon him because of the backlash, but because he stopped paying her monthly allowance. Miami has made it clear that she is all about the money, and she dipped away faster than you can blink. According to a source, Diddy is no longer paying Yung Miami's bills. The friend told us that Diddy had been paying for private flights, shopping sprees, and rent for a luxury Miami penthouse. Now Diddy has cut those expenses. Diddy still bought Yung Miami a Christmas gift, but he's not as generous as he once was. The source continues, Diddy is not in a good place mentally either. He can really use someone like Carisha in his life. She really does care about him, not just his money, but the money is important, yes. So he has to start paying again if he wants her companionship. With Diddy's money train derailed and his rep in the gutter, Yung Miami decided to jump ship. She probably thought distancing herself would make people forget how tight they were, but nah, it was too late for that. Homeland Security got all up in their business, and it didn't take long for Yung Miami to be exposed for allegedly moving stuff for Diddy. Y'all remember Lil Rod's lawsuit? At first his lawsuit just mentioned Miami was at the parties, nothing major. But his updated lawsuit was worse because he claimed that Miami was allegedly Diddy's S-worker. This explains why Miami was trying to play it cool and distance herself, but the streets don't forget. And as it turns out, neither did Diddy. The court document said Yung Miami, Jade, and Daphne Joy were paid a monthly fee to work as Mr. Combs' S-workers and received payment via wire transfer from Robin Greenhill, which outlined defendants' ongoing criminal operation. But the real spicy tea was the claim that Miami allegedly used to move substances for Diddy. According to the court documents, plaintiff Jones personally witnessed Mr. Combs do a few lines of C in his dressing room. Defendant Sean Combs wanted to see, but Brendan forgot it. So defendant Christina Coram called Yung Miami, who then brought it on the private jet from Miami. But the situation got more serious a couple of days ago when Miami unfollowed Diddy on all social media platforms. And that made it more than clear that she was completely done with Diddy. And child, Diddy is not taking it well because according to an insider, he is trying to drag her down with him and make sure that she faces charges just like him. So like I said, there are plans in motion for a grand jury to possibly indict Diddy based on all the accusations and lawsuit he's been hit with, incidents allegedly going back as far as the early 90s. That's like 30 years of alleged bad behavior and misconduct. Even though the statute of limitations has run out on most of these crimes, the feds can still bring charges against him if the grand jury decides to indict. This situation is heating up. According to CNN, federal investigators are preparing to bring accusers of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs before a federal grand jury. Two sources familiar with the probe told CNN, signaling the U.S. Justice Department is moving toward potentially seeking an indictment of Combs. They went on to say that possible witnesses have been notified by investigators that they could be brought in to testify in front of a federal grand jury in New York City, according to one source. Bringing individuals who have filed civil lawsuits against Combs before a grand jury would mark a significant escalation in the government's ongoing investigation involving the producer and Bad Boy Records founder. Well, according to an insider, Diddy plans to get his revenge on everyone who abandoned him, including Miami, by handing over evidence to the feds that's going to implicate her as well. And it looks like Miami's Yams era is not going to be enough to save her this time around. Fans left comments saying she wasn't crying while she was living an evil life and exploiting others while she was with him, so she needs to take her downfall with the same energy. So Yung Miami, aka Carisha, was Diddy's prostitute mule. No wonder he paid her by giving her her own show, and also why she kept winning those podcast awards over the deserving, more qualified podcasters. It all makes sense now. Hard work my butt. And not y'all all being shocked that Yung Miami is listed in court documents as Diddy's intimate worker. Yes, that's what it's called. You can call it tricking to feel better, but if you're being paid for intimacy, that's what you are, love, an intimate worker. That's how it works. Anywho, y'all go ahead and let me know how y'all feel about this situation, and then check out this next video.